Welcome to the Sportsource Game of the Week post-game coaches show. We've got all the reactions, breakdowns, and behind-the-scenes insights coming your way. Sportsource starts now.
Welcome to the Sportsource Friday Night Lights post-game show. I'm your host, Carter Braun. Joined alongside me are analysts Owen McDaniel and Lily Sincola. Tonight, the Jackson County Panthers came into Athens to face off against the Clarke Central Gladiators in the first week of region football. The Panthers ended up winning by a score of 64-14 tonight. Owen, how did this first half look?
Yeah, Carter, it was an early onslaught from Jackson County. They really poured on those touchdowns. Here are the highlights.
Following the opening kickoff, Jackson County quickly drove down the field, and running back Dalen Maxwell found some daylight and punched in the first score of the game. After a quick 3-and-out from Clarke Central, Maxwell bounced an inside handoff to the outside, got a few downfield blocks from his receivers, and beat the Gladiators to the pylon to extend the Panthers' lead to 14-0. Jackson County's defense forced another quick punt from Clarke Central, and then the offense pieced together a 5-play, 45-yard scoring drive, capped off by backup running back Jason Lee's first touchdown of the day. On the opening play of the Gladiators' next drive, the center Caleb Humphrey snapped the ball off his own bottom, and the Panthers recovered deep in Clarke Central territory. They turned that into a field goal, extending their lead to 24-0. The Clarke Central went 3-and-out again, and Jackson County rapidly drove down the field, tacking on to their lead with a 6-yard run from Lee. The Gladiators turned to Kamar Lee at quarterback, and he led them on their best drive of the game, but it fizzled out and Clarke turned the ball over on downs. On the ensuing drive, Jackson County gave the ball to Maxwell 4 straight times, and he carried them all the way from their own 33-yard line to the end zone, putting the Panthers up 38-0. Jackson County then forced another Clarke Central punt, and the punter booted it off an offensive lineman, recovered the ball, and was tackled well behind the line of scrimmage. The Panthers took advantage of the excellent field position as running back Caleb Clarke found the end zone for Jackson County's 6th rushing touchdown of the half. Shortly before halftime, Jackson County punt returner Silas McDaniel took one all the way back to put an exclamation point on a dominant first half for the Panthers. He even ran a little bit past the end zone on his celebration.
Pure domination from the Panthers.
It sure was in that first half, going up 51-0 by the end of the half. And as a team, Clarke Central, some teams would just lay down and struggle to get points on the board in the second half. Did they do this, Lily, in the second?
You know, after a very disappointing first half for the Gladiators, Clarke Central kind of came back in the second half and showed some signs of life. Let's cut to the highlights. Back in the second half, we will pick things up with Jackson County already in control, and the Panthers will be the first to strike. Quarterback drops back, finds tight end Maddox Griswold in the back of the end zone for a touchdown for Jackson County. A perfectly placed throw for the Panthers to extend their lead once again. But Clarke Central finally answers. LaGracious Little will take it in the back of the end zone to run it out for the Gladiators. You know, he's stuck in some traffic, almost gets caught up, but somehow makes it out to run it all the way back to the end zone for a Gladiator touchdown. You know, this is special because it's not only the first points for the Gladiators in the second half, but the first points in the entire game on their homecoming night. This is the momentum shift that Clarke Central was needing after a long and brutal first half. But Jackson County is the type of team, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. The Panthers continue to dominate on the ground, piling up rushing yards and keeping the Gladiators on their heels throughout the entire second half. But still, Clarke Central's defense begins to show some signs of life, putting together some strong stops and holding Jackson County from scoring. While the offense mixes in long runs and throws, they're able to claw back into it at the end of the second half. And on one of the final drives of the game, senior wide receiver Troy Rucker goes long to receive it, barely catching in the back of the end zone. Although Clarke Central showed grit all the way through the second half, outscoring Jackson County 14-7, this night belongs to the Panthers. Jackson County will extend their win streak to 4 and for the first time break their 0-3 record against Clarke Central. A statement win as they roll into another week of region play. Yeah, coming off of first half, they still showed that they had something left in them in that second half and came back.
And I think that's big for Clarke Central, especially as they head into this regional play, obviously starting out 0-1. As for Jackson County, they go to 1-0 on the season in region play and 4-1 overall. And we'll hear from their head coach and our Sportsource player of the game when we come back. Welcome back to Sportsource Friday Night Lights. We've got our very own Jake Brannon, who's got head coach Corey Mobbs with him on the sideline. Jake, what you got?
Thanks, Carter. I'm here with Jackson County coach Corey Mobbs. Coach, 10 times the charm. This is the first time you've finally beaten Clarke Central at the 10th time of asking. Was that part of your motivation to the team this week, and how do you think it affected how you guys played tonight?
Yeah, to be honest, we don't necessarily talk a ton about Jackson County football history because there's not been a ton of success. We talk about this team and this team's ability to, perform to our best. And, I think tonight maybe we were close to that. I don't think we expected the score to be what it was. They've got a good football team. They'll figure it out. Coach Perno does a good job, but really proud of our guys tonight for sure.
Running game was a big success tonight, especially Dalen Maxwell. What have you seen from him and the entire running back room in practice that makes this unit stand out so much?
Well, it's a selfish group, and they're led by an offensive line that's also, I said selfish, it's an unselfish group, and they're led by an offensive line that is seasoned. They played a lot of ball, and they don't care that they get any credit. They want those pretty guys to run the ball and get all the credit. So we try to share the carries where we can. Obviously Dalen leads us. He's the one that's got the most experience. But all three of them touched it and carried the ball really well tonight. But again, they would be the first to give credit to their offensive line, and those guys certainly deserve the credit.
Team played pretty much perfect tonight. Other than that kickoff return touchdown, has special teams been a thing you've worked on in practice? And after that happened, what will you work on to correct it for next week?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what personnel you have in the game, the goal is to stop them on every play when you're in a defensive snap and special teams snap. And so, we'll watch it on film and we'll get better. We certainly had some different personnel in the game there, and, hats off to them. Number one for them is a really good football player. And we knew that if we could try to, bottle him up tonight, hopefully not let him get loose, and he got loose on the kickoff return. So credit to them on that one play, but overall, definitely a dominating effort.
What would you say is your favorite part of that dominating effort?
Probably the second half and watching our guys that started the game coach up the guys that are going in the game there in the second half and be as happy for them when they make a play as they did in the first half. To me, that talks a lot about what your team is, where your heartbeat is, and we've got a bunch of great kids that don't care who gets the credit. They just want to win, and so tonight that was fun.
So when games get ugly like this, you turn to your second and third stringers. How do you think they played tonight, even though the scoring really didn't matter all that much?
Yeah, we challenged them to be really smooth and operate, offensively, and then defensively the goal is always to get a stop. And for the most part, there were some really bright spots of those guys that went in, the reserves. And it'll be great film to watch with a Friday night experience for those guys. And they'll be our future, right? So, not every Friday night do we get them reps in a tight ball game. And so it's definitely a positive for us tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck next week.
All right, thank you, guys.
Well, thank you, Jake, for that information. Owen, what can we really get out of this interview?
Yeah, as Coach Mobb said, not even he expected this team to come out here and play that well, but as a coach, you've got to be overjoyed with that performance from your team.
For sure. And the coach obviously dictates what the players do on the field, but the players are the ones getting it done. We've got our very own Anna Williams sitting by with our player of the game right now. Anna?
Thanks, Carter. I'm here with Jackson County junior running back Dalen Maxwell. Congrats on the win tonight, Dalen. How does it feel to finally get redemption against Clarke Central?
Feel good. Feel great.
And what were your coach's words going into this game? It was a big game for you guys tonight.
Just play hard and get payback.
All right, and this is the team's third straight win. What do you think's been working for you guys?
Defense been in the backfield all season, and our run game
And anything you guys have been working on in practice in particular?
is getting better.
And then how do you carry this energy into next week's game against Alcovy and the rest of region play?
We never let our heads get too high. We always keep our heads low and just keep working to get better every week.
Great game tonight. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Anna. He did have a wonderful game tonight. Lily, what are your thoughts on his performance?
You know, we've got a man of few words here, but you can tell that he was super excited for his team and just put up another really strong performance. He's been a key player throughout the season, and we've really just seen domination from him on and off the field.
And he'll need to continue to dominate as they look to improve their record even better than their 4-1 record right now. When we come back, I'll be standing by with Clarke Central head coach David Perno, and I'll talk to him about the way he feels about his team after this loss. Welcome back to Sportsource Friday Night Lights. Joined by me right now is Clarke Central head coach David Perno. Coach, obviously not the outcome you guys wanted today. What are your main takeaways from this one tonight?
We're just overmatched right now, and I gotta own it. We gotta figure out some things. We're struggling at quarterback. I think we used 3 tonight, and we got a 4th one who was hurt that was we were planning on getting him the snaps, but he just couldn't go. He's got a pulled groin. But we got to sew some things up on defense too. We're just getting gashed. One of the things the effects of not having AJ man in the middle have just worn on us. And I thought we were over it and kind of got through it, but obviously not. And I tipped my hat to Jackson. I mean, it was basically the same team we played last year, and they're a year older, a year stronger, and a year better, and they're a really good football team. I mean, they really should have beat Jefferson earlier in the year at Jefferson. So, I'm as disappointed as I am and frustrated where we are. I mean, we've played some really good teams the last 3 weeks, and, we got whipped because we're not a very good team right now, but we will be. We'll figure it out.
So through those first 5 games, I know you mentioned playing 3 different quarterbacks tonight. You've been swapping in and out. Did you learn anything tonight, or as the weeks go on, do you continue to learn who that guy might be at quarterback for you guys?
Yeah, I think Hudson made a strong case for him. I know it was the second half, it wasn't starting, but I think Cameron does some good things. He just misses some open targets. Kamar doesn't throw it enough. He takes too many sacks and doesn't get rid of it. Hudson is probably has the best pocket awareness. He's the most accurate thrower. He's just sophomore. Physically, he's not quite there, and I wish we didn't have to, but right now, if I had to decide who's going to get the majority of snaps next week, I would say Hudson.
So I won't put you on the record saying that or make you make a decision right now. But with that being said, you guys just lost your 4th straight game. It's 1-4. It's not really the Clarke Central football we're accustomed to seeing at all.
Close.
What really looking forward, if you can think of one right now, what can you guys do?
Life after Hezekiah, life after Corey Watkins, life after Zay Berry, and life without A.J. Lunnan. I mean, come on, we're a public school.
Yeah.
And we got a 4-star kid that's probably one of the better defensive players in the state and haven't played. I mean, it's not what you think. I mean, you look at our kids. I mean, I don't think we got a 250, 260-pound kid on our team. I mean, we're just a little bit undermanned right now. But we got some weapons. We just got to figure out how to be able to complement each other, offense and defensively. It's the 3rd game in a row we've started 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and gone backwards on 2 of them. And I mean, you just can't put it, because once that offense gets going, the other team's offense gets going downhill. I mean, we're just playing uphill the whole night, and it's been like that for 3 weeks. And I thought we got some things worked out, but again, we missed first play of the game. We make a great call. We got a guy wide open. We miss it high. And then we don't make a couple catches that were fringe catches. And, I mean, we don't have margin for error.
Mm-hmm.
And when you drop balls and you miss open guys, you're going to end up punting.
So you guys don't have much margin for error in games, and as the region goes, you guys now sit at 0-1. You've got a game next week against Appalachia. What are we going to see in practice this week from you guys, or just leading up to the game to maybe get over that hump and get your season right back on track?
Well, we're going to visit putting an extra guy in the box on defense and probably switch and going to one high. We've been playing 2 high safeties, and we probably need to switch it to 1 to get extra weight in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, we're probably going to crawl underneath center a little more, and we got to get the ball to 20, and with a little more design than always staying in the A gap. We got to be able to get them on the edge. We got to get them off tackle, and so it's not as bad as it seems, the scoreboard, but we're not. We're trying to go out there and win these games. And when you go out there and you play a good team like them and you try and go toe-to-toe and you don't worry about the clock, I mean, it can get away from you. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, good luck next week. This has been Coach David Perno from Clarke Central. Thank you for joining us tonight. When we come back from commercial, we'll wrap up Sportsource Friday Night Lights with a recap of the game. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back to the Sportsource Friday Night Lights post-game show, as we just saw the Jackson County Panthers defeat the Clarke Central Gladiators here in Athens, Georgia by a score of 64-14 on what was the Gladiators' homecoming night. Owen, what are our main takeaways from this one?
Yeah, Carter, Jackson County comes to Billy Henderson Stadium and just rains on those homecoming celebrations. And I gotta say, the Panthers look like the team to beat in Region 8.
They certainly do. You've got a team in now the Jackson County Panthers, and they're kind of going in the opposite direction of the Clarke Central Gladiators. Lily, what can you tell us about their weeks to come?
Yeah, so Jackson County is going to face off against Alcovy this Thursday. They're going to look to extend this 5-game win streak and really just keep this hot streak going into some really dicey region play. Clarke Central kind of on the opposite side of this. Clarke Central is also facing off in a region match against Appalachia. They're going to look to break their 4-game lose streak and just really bring that fire back to give them any sort of chance in this region playoff.
Yeah, and I'm very intrigued to see how these two teams will respond to such a lopsided performance today. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Sportsource Friday Night Lights postgame show. We'll see you next week.